Hey, I don't know if we were going or not. So, woohoo! Welcome to another episode of Muscle Matters. Tonight, I'm here with Mike. We're going to have a good conversation about learning to let go. It's kind of like where I wanted to take this episode tonight. So stick around, see what you can learn to let go. Welcome back to another episode of Muscle Matters, because in the words of our good friend Tom, muscles do matter.
Yeah.
And tonight, we're going to talk about letting go, because the reason I want to talk about letting go is because, you know, this show's Muscle Matters, and it's got a lot of fitness involved with it.
Uh-huh.
So in order to go down this fitness journey, you've got to let certain things go.
Like your belly?
Like vices.
Okay.
I remember when I got dedicated to bodybuilding, most people don't... Very few people that are around today know the guy I was before I got into bodybuilding. Like, I've always loved to lift weights, but before I started competing, golly, I was a drunk.
Really?
Like, beyond drunk.
I wouldn't know that.
I worked in a bar 5 days a week. When I stopped drinking, the bar owner laughed, because he literally goes, "Hey, Steve, I have 3 full bottles of Jack a week." That's how much Jack I drank.
Yep.
So it was really, and one of the best things about that really helped me overcome that, you know, I've always believed in God, but and a lot of people are like, "Did you lean on God?" No, I wasn't at that point yet. They Deadpooled me.
Deadpool?
Okay. You know the movie Deadpool?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the board? And that's how he got his name? It was about who was going to die next.
Oh, really?
They Deadpooled
okay.
me.
No, I saw it, but I didn't remember that part.
Yeah,
so.
they literally Deadpooled me on when I was going to start drinking.
Okay.
So they literally had a bet on when each day, month, year, and it was a Deadpool. I said, "Oh, bet."
But you weren't always a Christian.
I've always believed in God.
Okay.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I was a heathen during that time period.
Sure. Okay. Hey, we talked about a little bit about how I was earlier too.
The craziest thing about
I'm with you.
The craziest thing about that is my grandfather was a fall in the street drunk. Like, I used to have to go wake him up in the street. And I swore I would never be that guy.
Yeah. Were you?
You know how many times I've woken up in the street?
Wow. I don't think I've ever woken up in the street. I've done plenty of stuff that I regret. But that just happens to not be one of them.
The crazy thing is I was a functional blackout. Like, nobody was home.
Yeah.
And I was still...
Really?
I used to have a funny saying, and it's crazy to know that this was my saying. Mm-hmm. I used to look at people and go, "Did I meet you before midnight or after midnight?"
So I've never blacked out either.
Oh, nobody was home. People come up and have conversation. I'd be like, "Bruh, do I know you?" "Yeah." "Oh." Like, I remember going out of town one year. I hung out with Michael Jordan.
Really?
No recollection.
What?
No recollection.
Wow. How do you know that this even happened?
Because my friends told me I cut the line at the bar. They said the line went down the street, and I walked in like, "Yeah, see you guys." And I was inside, hanging out, and because when I would get drunk, I would wander.
Okay.
And I just walk to the door, high five the bouncer, because I was a bouncer.
Yeah, you knew him. You probably knew him.
No. I'm out of town.
All right.
I hung out with the Wayans.
What?
Pew.
Wow.
Pew. So some of the things
they were probably blitzed too, though. So
yeah, I was having a great time in the VIP, telling my friends to come up, and the bodyguards were like, "No," and I'm like the next day I go, "Well, how did I get up there?"
How did you get up there?
I don't know. I was up there. So those are some of the things. So when we talk about letting go, there's certain things in order to be an accomplished athlete or accomplish at anything you want to do, you have to kind of let go. I'm reading this really good novel right now. I wish I could remember who wrote it, but it's a Christian-based book, and it's called Let Go.
It's not C.S. Lewis.
It might be.
I don't know. I love C.S. Lewis. So.
I don't, like I said, I wish I could remember, but do you know the crazy thing is? My mom gave me this book when I was 32 years old.
Really?
And I never read it.
Okay.
20 years later, I'm reading this book, Let Go. So
she probably wasn't sure if you knew how to read.
No, I used to love to read. Then I got old and got blind. I got glasses with reading glasses.
All right, so for all of you who are out there watching, that Steve likes to play like he's dumb. He's one of the smartest guys I know.
No, I'm dumb.
No, you're one of the smartest guys I know.
Oh no, I used to run like I said, I was a functional drunk. I can tell how many times I ran my head into a wall just for the fun of. I was a pure frat boy.
So I wonder how smart you'd be then.
Oh my God! Like I said, I was a pure frat boy. The first time I got knocked off is because Ed pushed me off a bar.
Okay.
And I felt 8 feet on my head. And I woke up on the pool table going, oh, is that what that feels like? Frat boy in it. So the art of letting go. So you've got to learn to let go. So if you want to lose some weight, vices are one of the hardest things to give up. I was talking to somebody today, and we were talking about chocolate. I'm a chocoholic.
I like chocolate. We had, you're gonna give me grief over this one too. I have a sweet tooth. Mm-hmm. Right. So the other day, like I think it was Sunday night, I had a craving for chocolate lava cake.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
So you say that, I have no craving for it anymore.
We went and I went to Smart Final and we made chocolate lava cakes.
You do realize that for every time you have a craving, your body's actually missing a trace mineral. So
I should eat something other than what I'm craving?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure I should definitely eat something other than chocolate lava cake.
And it's like, so when you have these cravings, like people say, I crave sweets.
Yeah,
I crave sweets.
I do all the time.
Okay, so like you've heard the old wives' tale: if you chew ice, you're low on iron.
Okay.
Yeah, you ever heard that old wives' tale?
No.
Maybe it was just only in the black community,
or maybe it was in the meathead community. Yeah, you've been part of both. So
it's basically like they used to say if you chew ice, you're lacking iron.
Okay.
So one of the things I did, and I didn't do it on purpose, I just did it because I was looking for a healthier snack than chocolate. Because like I said, I would go to the store and the guy would laugh at me. I'd walk out the store with 3 or 4 chocolate bars, because I needed to put something back in my system. I wanted to put the glycogen back in my system. And we sit here and if you go in the meathead community, people walk around with gummies and everything else trying to put glycogen back in their system.
Okay.
And it's a lot of the times the sugars that we're putting back aren't real sugars. So these gummies, all these things, they're not real sugar. The trick to putting real sugar is actually pure cane sugar.
Okay.
This is a sugar made in a laboratory.
Yeah.
So we're actually putting diabetes back in. We're not actually putting sugar, so what the body needs. So the thing that I switched to was omega nuts. I get these trail mixes, and they're full of omegas.
Okay.
So obviously, I wasn't meeting my fats. So, and that is my specific case, that I was not meeting my fats. So because I was not having enough fats, the body's got to run on something. So it's got to run on sugar, which is carbs, which got to run on fats.
Okay.
So if I'm not meeting my fats, what's my body going to start craving?
Sugar?
Because it needs energy.
Okay.
The brain's got to have something to run. So I'm not meeting, so that's what I'm saying. When you crave something, you're literally missing something in your diet that's causing these cravings. And since I have increased my fats...
Is there a way to know what it is?
Yeah, it's a way to know, and it's just you have...
I mean, like, is there a book or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So because I don't want to spend the rest of the show talking about this.
Because it's a deep rabbit hole.
Right.
It's a deep rabbit hole.
But I want to know.
And it literally will, and the rabbit hole will tell you, if you crave this, it's this. If you crave this, it's this. Everything is right there.
Okay.
But in my case, it was just because I wasn't getting, us bodybuilders, we want to have low carbohydrates. We want to do all these wonderful things because that's the way we're, keep the glycemic index down, what carb they have at the right time to catch a peak, to catch the wave. It's this whole blah, 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 blah thing. But if 9 times out of 10, I'm eating enough protein.
Yeah.
I'm just not getting, and that's what the supplementation comes in. So supplementation is literally supplementing something I don't have.
Yep.
So that's why a multivitamin is always pretty good to have, because I don't eat greens.
Right. What's that?
My food eats greens. I'm a vegetarian.
Unless you're having pistachio ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a vegetarian through the absorption of my meat. I get my vegetables from the cow I eat.
Exactly.
So my body's missing these things. The knowledge I carry now, I wish I had way back then. It sucks.
Told you guys she's smart.
I'm pretending. And so you have to learn to let go. So when you go to, like I said, now let's flip ahead. We're talking about food. So we have cravings. So once again, we've come to understand that when you're craving something, it's a lot of times with the food, fast foods and processed foods, the things that we're craving are the ingredients that they're putting in there. So have you ever, I showed you the list of what the U.S. food looks like versus the European food, same food.
Okay.
I've showed you that list.
No.
It's crazy. So you'll look up McDonald's French fries and European French fries.
Do they have French fries?
Yes, they have McDonald's.
Okay.
So
It's like healthy McDonald's.
yes, their French fries literally is like corn syrup, French fries, salt, sugar.
Yeah.
McDonald's, gum this, Diesel Bob this.
Nothing that's actually or naturally occurring.
Beetlejuice. I'm gonna say it a whole bunch of times.
Right.
It's just all this stuff that's in there. I mean, their list is about this big. The American list is about that big.
Right.
And so what they have, and it's sad that sit here and beat our government up. I'm trying not to beat our government up, but
That's for a different show.
but they're allowing these extra ingredients to put in that the body is poisoning the body and the body now needs. It's just like a drug.
Oh, okay.
So you're craving things. So that's what makes fast food so bad, because you're craving like McDonald's secret sauce. If you look at all the stuff that they put in these French fries, you're craving these different things.
Well, they do that so that you do crave them, though.
Yes, like there's sugar in French fries.
Yeah.
What did I say that sugar's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Most people crave sugar because most people don't.
Sugar is also the biggest cancer causer.
Saving that for another show. So most people just don't get enough energy in their body because we don't eat enough food, but the brain's got to run on sugar, right?
Yep.
So I'll go eat these French fries because there's sugar hidden in there. So you see a lot of diabetics eating these French fries, not trying to figure out why because McDonald's has sugar in there. It's all this processed food. So you've got to learn to let go to get to where you want to go. So you've got to look like one of the other things my friends would tell you, and I'm just saying me. This is just me talking about me. My bad. So one of the things my friends would tell you is when I got into bodybuilding, I stopped hanging out. Like legitimately stopped hanging out, because if you want to get stronger, you want to get bigger, you want to get leaner, you want to do any of these things, you have to get sleep, because cortisol is a killer. Cortisol increases body fat. So if you're trying to figure out where you're not getting enough, this goes back to my sleep apnea conversation when we talk about sleep apnea. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're increasing your body's cortisol. Your body's not repairing itself. So if you're not getting enough repairing, the body's going to actually make more fat. Sleep is the most important thing you can do. So I learned that, hey, I'm going to cut out of an event because I want to go home and I want to try to get between 6 to 8 hours. I want those 8 hours. Like, that is my goal, is 8 hours.
What's that like?
That's my goal. So I learned to cut things out. Like, my life changed. And it was just, my friends will laugh and they'll be like, oh, Steve leaves. I'm like, oh, I'm out. Like, where are you going? Oh, it's 9:30. I'm going home, going to bed. And it's just, I had to let go of these other things because I wanted to be good.
You had goals.
Yes. So it's
but that doesn't just apply to bodybuilding. That applies to all of life.
I was just getting ready to say. So if I want to be a doctor, most doctors, they have what they call real bad midlife crisis. Because when everybody else is handling their shenanigans, they're studying.
Yeah.
They're giving their life up. These guys don't make $1 till they're almost 40.
Wow.
Because you figure it takes 6 years to become a doctor. Then you have to intern.
Okay.
Then you have to work for free. Then you have to hope to try to get onto a hospital. Because, the first place that's going to hire you is going to be KMC. Because that's a trauma center. And so you're going to get hired on trauma center because the trauma center wants all hands on deck. So you're trying to get someplace. So if you're just doctors, please forgive me for what I'm getting ready to say. I respect you guys 100% for what you did. If you're just a plain old-fashioned doctor, just a doctors.
Like a regular doctor.
Ears, nose, and throat.
Generalist.
Yes, you're a GP, a general practitioner. You've got those 6 years that you have to put in order to get that doctorate. And by the time you finally get your own practice, you're in your 40s.
Okay.
Most people in their 40s are trying to slow down.
Right.
You missed all your 20s. So you start your practice at 40. So about 45, 46, you're probably making a couple dollars.
Yeah.
So where everybody else was having shenanigans in their 20s, it's your time to shine.
In your 40s.
So, so they have these midlife crises late in life. So I don't know how I went off on that tangent, but
that's interesting. But I never knew that. So
think about it.
Yeah, makes sense.
So when everybody else had shenanigans, they were stuck at work. They gave up their teenage years.
Yeah.
But their shenanigans are a lot better than my shenanigans and your shenanigans.
A lot more fun. Huh? They got some dollars.
Yes, those are
dollar bill.
Yeah, those are good shenanigans. So they are learning. You know, they let go of of the things that the rest of us. You know, like I said, I was a frat boy. I was doing cake stands. So while everybody else was doing cake stands, they were studying.
Uh-huh.
So anything you're trying to do, you have to let something. You got to let vices go. A good marriage, you got to let it go.
You got to let a good marriage go?
You got to let your vices go.
Okay.
Men, what's that? What was that movie with that dog with squirrel? Squirrel.
Yeah.
You can't say squirrel no more.
No.
You have to put your blinders on.
My vice is working.
Yeah. And so you have to learn to let things go. So like the other day, you were talking about, hey, we're going to schedule some time for ourselves. And then unfortunately, your time got squeezed out.
Uh-huh.
But you understand that I've got to let some of this go so I can keep this successful. It goes back to what I'm like right now. I'm really working on my journey, personal journey with God. The amount of things that you have to let go.
Yeah.
And it's just simple things. And I'm not going to get too biblical on you guys, but this is my journey. Is like I thought I'd let everything go,
mm-hmm.
and then the more I realized, like, oh my goodness.
Well, I had this conversation with one of my best friends earlier today,
Uh-huh.
and he was talking about devoting his life to God, and he said, I was really been contemplating a lot. Like, he retired from his former career, and now he's going to go start a business and stuff. And he's like, I really wanted to get to the point where I could make enough money and then do the math on it and see how much back tithes I owed and go and pay that back. And he was like, he's like, I don't know if that's even possible, but I think the better way of doing that is just devote my life to God. And I said, the thing is, sorry to guys go down a rabbit hole of Christianity here, but Steve and I are both believers, and this is a big deal for us.
Yes.
So I said, even if you were able to do the math and pay back all your tithes, even if you gave the rest of your income for the rest of your life to God, let's go that far, you'll still never even come close to paying back.
You can't outgive God.
Well, you can't pay the debt.
Yes.
Well,
the debt was the cross.
Right. Exactly. So what I was saying to him is, this is where you just got to lean into grace, because yes, I'm going to serve God, but I can never give more than what he's already given and will continue to give in the future.
Speaking of tithes, I just recently started really paying my tithes. Like, I would donate money.
Yeah.
But I had a hard time giving tithes. And it's just because I have a hard time with establishments. And that's my personal beef.
Yeah. Well, so I had a similar conversation to that with another friend of mine, and I was, among other things, that was part of it. But I was also like, where do I tithe? Because I go to multiple different churches and stuff. And they're like, it doesn't matter, because it's not for the church; it's for you.
Yes, and I've created a habit.
Yeah.
And once I created that habit, I come to
now
realize
you're living out that hat. The blessed.
Well, I just, there's like, I told you a problem that happened today.
Yeah.
So, I look at that problem, I go, I can't outgive God.
Yeah.
There's no way in the world that I start doing something that's increasing my walk and my faith and increasing that made me have to come over something that I had to let go. I had to let go of my disliking
of the
establishment.
Yeah.
To give up money, because I was like, I'd rather give that 10% back to my family.
Yeah.
And but it's like, okay, cool. I can't, if I'm the establishment.
But God doesn't want your money. He doesn't need your money. He wants your heart.
Yes. So it's an act of faith.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people get lost,
obedience.
because I wouldn't say obedience. It's an act of faith, because I'm being faithful in paying my percentage. My first percentage is going to God, my 10%.
And that is the only place in the Bible where God says, test me on this.
Yes. And so you can't outgive them.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I got biblical on you guys real quick.
No, it's okay because you're actually like, sorry, maybe it's just me and Steve having a conversation as brothers, but now I'm feeling convicted. So.
Well, and that's why I said that's something I had to let go. I had to let go of that. Like, ew, I don't want to give these people, and the word these people, my money.
Yeah.
But I feel now when I tithe, I'm at peace. Like, you give me 100, I automatically take 10 away. Yeah. Automatically. It's That's just awesome. It's not even a dip to the side.
So speaking of these people and letting go, tell our viewers about the conversation we had earlier about the police and profiling and all that. Because that was something you had to let go too, right? Right? Does that not fit this conversation?
Not really, because when I get harassed a lot.
But I mean, you could have had bitterness and stuff. So like, I know you don't.
I don't have bitterness. I have battered minority syndrome.
Yeah.
But I had to change we had a conversation, and I said, I have a closet full of jerseys. Closet full of jerseys, but you'll never see me in a jersey.
Right.
Because I know every time I put the jersey on, I get pulled over.
I think I've seen you in a jersey once.
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
But very seldom will you see me in it, because I'm so traumatized from fitting the description.
So it's just trauma every time you put on the jersey.
So as quick as I want to put it on, I'm like, I don't feel like being bugged. So yes, I have battered minority syndrome.
So you got to let that go.
I have let it go, but I changed my whole dress habit.
Yeah.
The way I used to dress, where I used to be a peanut knucklehead running around in Dickies and a white T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything, officer. Well, yeah, you're right. I fit the description. I'm a little peanut, bald-headed kid running around wearing and it's unfortunate that as a minority that we have to make these decisions on our appearance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you should want to change your appearance anyway to be more reflective of yourself and not of an environment.
Yeah.
We'll go into that. That's a different rabbit hole. But it's just something I had to let go. So whenever you're trying to better yourself, you have to let something go. Mm-hmm. Because there's going to be something held back.
Well, I got one.
Yes, sir.
So, and I don't know if I shared this with you or not, and not that I wouldn't share it with you, but there was a while ago, like some years ago, probably COVID or pre-COVID, like that God was telling me let go of drinking, because he was, and I didn't fully understand why at the time. And I was like, well, I drink socially. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have this problem or whatever. But I felt like I was supposed to let that go. And, when I really kind of, searched my heart on it, it's like, well, one, don't let anything be the master of you. Right? And I think that's very pertinent to this conversation. Yes. But two is, well, I want to take you to new heights and new places. But that's one of several things, frankly, that you're going to have to let go to the next level that I want you to go to. And that's more of a spiritual application, but it applies to the conversation because it's something I had to let go.
Not to mention it's visual.
Yeah.
It's probably not a good look for me to be sitting in Chili's at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Pounding beers, wearing a Jesus shirt.
Well, bro, I'll make no bones about it. There was a time, not that many years ago, I used to sit in here. We had bottles of Tito's and everything else. And we were just like drinking in the office all day long.
And it's like you said,
and we weren't hammered.
But that's a different type of. That's what like when I'm trying to put it in the correct words. When God convicts you,
yeah,
it's a sign of love.
Yeah,
it's not as people think it's a sign of punishment.
No,
because look how many times people do wrong things in this world.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the diddler. The stuff that's coming out about him, like what he's done with family, supposedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, and there's no conviction in those hearts.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you have conviction, that means that's love. That's an art of changing who you are. Mm-hmm. So conviction, like.
Well, I say all the time.
So Steve, even in dieting, so say you're trying to lose weight. you should be convicted if you have a cheesecake, because guess what? You are really seriously trying to change your habits. Okay, I need to stop drinking dark sodas. I need to let go of dark sodas. If you let go of dark sodas, you'll probably lose 5 to 10 pounds like that.
Right.
And that's just dark sodas. You can still keep a Sprite, but dark sodas is so bad that stop in dark sodas. Literally, you will lose weight.
Well, I say all the time, and I think this applies broadly. It doesn't even necessarily have to just be a biblical conversation.
Yes.
But whenever like a lot of people like to think, and you were alluding to this earlier, a lot of people like to think, well, God just wants to sit on the throne and take all your fun away and have a bunch of rules. No, he just happens to know the things that are bad for us. So he's telling us, don't do this, because I know the path that leads down, and it may be fun for a season, just like sin is. Right?
The diddler was having fun.
Cheesecake, yeah.
The diddler was having fun.
Cheesecake is fun for a season, but then when you look like me instead of like you,
and you take an insulin shot,
right?
So it's like it's just to better improve your life, you have to let go of the bad, and so many people, like the person who smokes crack, living on a street corner, didn't imagine themselves smoking crack and living on a street corner.
One compromise leads to another compromise, leads to another compromise.
You see them, and man, it's so sad seeing they're young now. Fentanyl's no joke.
Dude, how many friends have you had that have died from that?
ODs? Oh, lots. I've got lots of friends.
Heartbreaking.
So it's just letting go. So whenever you try to improve yourself, it's letting go. So if I wanted to be, say I was powerlifting, I'm getting ready to go for a meet, I've got to let something go in order to get there. I've got to let go of outside distractions. I've got to focus in. Man, I don't miss bodybuilding. I just started thinking about some of the things I'd have to do. I would have a scheduled date night.
Yeah.
Where I would go for a cheat meal, because I was such a jerk, but I was so focused that I let everything go. I was just so lasered in that if I was dating a young lady, we would go out to lunch or dinner, whatever my cheat day was, and I would say, let me get 2 or 3 bites of my food and then cuss me out.
Yeah.
And I'd get cussed out. And I'm like, all right, cool. All right, I'm done eating. Let's go something else. But it was just the focus. It's got to, in order to let go. This conversation has gone everywhere, but where I originally wanted to go, about food.
I'm sorry, bro.
It's okay, but it's a good conversation because
I love the conversation.
So, like I said, if you guys have if you guys would like to jump in, talk to us, we would love to hear your conversations. The more interaction we get on these shows, the better. And I really appreciate the interaction. I appreciate when people have conversation. That way we know what you do and you don't like. So it looks like we've lost everybody.
Well, we had to reboot. The Instagram stream died.
Oh,
so people are coming back, but
we did okay. Maybe the Rock that was black didn't like me talking about the diddler.
Right. Hey, that's right about where it dropped too. We did get some good feedback on Facebook or whatever, YouTube, one of those. We got four likes on there.
Okay, so we're gonna cut it short.
It's not short, bro. We're already over. Hello.
Oh, hey, Mama.
Is that your mom?
Yeah, it's Mama.
What's up, Mama?
So we're gonna let it go. But like I said, it's learning how to let go. Is a great way to go. And just remember, whenever you want to accomplish whatever you want to do, that's great. It's going to require some sort of sacrifice. Yeah. You're going to have to sacrifice something in the pursuit of greatness.
But is it really sacrifice if you're giving up something that is ultimately causing you harm?
It's a sacrifice in the beginning.
Yeah.
Anything. So if I eat McDonald's 5 times a day,
yeah,
that's going to be hard for me to let that go, because you got to think about all the addiction and all the oils and all the poison. Like, drugs are poison, liquor is poison. You're not hung over. Your body is poisoned and is dying. It's not a hangover like they like to call it. That's poison. You have given, and I know more about liquor poisoning than I would ever love to care to admit.
Well, isn't that like when you're intoxicated too? That's even like alcohol poisoning.
You're
killing your brain cells.
You're poisoning your brain.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and all in the pursuit of happiness. When true happiness, and I'm gonna throw it back in the world. Once you dedicate yourself, and
your mom is a workout person too. So
yes, my mom. It's crazy. Like, some of the things that are now coming out cutting edge. My mom is very, like, you say I'm smart. That's the smartest person I've ever met.
And Sandy, is that her name?
Yes.
Sandy, he talks so highly of you nearly every conversation we have.
Because I any sense of brain cells I have are 100% from that lady. She, like, some of the supplementation, my mom was ahead of supplementations way back in the day. My mom's always been into fitness in some way, shape, or form, and she's always, like, MSM, glucosamine. My mom was pushing that on me, 88, mama? 88, 89. So she was saying, like, some of the trace minerals I take, she was pushing that on me. And then
I've never had the privilege of meeting your mom. I met Pops.
Yes.
I love Pops.
Mom's is retired. She's happy sitting in the big chair. So Mom's is retired, but I mean, this is a lady that, oh my goodness. She's graduate of USC, a Bachelor of Science. She's, she wrote her grant paper.
Intelligent woman, huh?
She, how many people that writes a grant paper themselves?
Not many.
Zero help.
Yeah.
She wrote her own grant paper. She created her own 501c3p. So she's got her own nonprofit. My mom was the first RDHP, or third RDHP, in all of California, which
all organic.
Yes, that's I said. A lot of it's like she is the true pioneer. And if I have a rabbit hole, I'll shoot it with her. Like, I have a new line coming out, and it's a women's line that's coming out, and I shot it with her today. Like, that's my confidant. When I have, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing something, that's the lady I turn to, because as you think I go down rabbit holes, she comes back and let me know. Like, I was talking about, hey, the product we're going to do, it's going to be, it's called, I don't want to give too much away, shut my mouth before it comes out, but it's all woman's brand.
Are you manufacturing it, or
yes.
Are you okay?
So we've created it.
So we need to talk about that after it's done.
Yes. So I'll bring it on the show.
Okay.
And
should have your mom on to talk about it.
I'd love to have my mom on, but she's not coming out the house. Like, you think I talk? That lady right there, when she was done, you just be like this. Oh, so 2 + 2 is cat. That's how smart she'll feel when she's done. But we were talking about it. And I said, hey, I'm going to put collagen peptides in there. She goes, she looks at me. She goes, boy, you can't just put one. You got to. And she broke it down like bang, 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 bang. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So she stays ahead of the curve. So I appreciate you, Mother, 159% beyond. When we started this family business, that was my back. That was my rock.
Ain't nothing like a good God-fearing mama.
I could take a punch because of that lady. Yes, she's my rock. She is. She's the family rock. So, Mother, I love you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Everybody else that tuned in, I love you guys too. Yeah. Thank you for so much listening to.
Tell us what you think about all the Jesus talk here.
You know what? If you would like to hear more, you know where to find me at. Anybody can come up and talk to me anytime. Like I said, my current journey with God is learning to let go. I've always been a God-fearing man. I've always believed in God. When I was young, people used to ask me why I don't go to church. And I used to say, because I respect God. Mm-hmm. I'm out here being a heathen. Like I told you, the amount of liquor that they found when I stopped. I'm not going to show up to church on Sunday. Like I used to tell my mom, hey, Mom, I'm a heathen. I'm not showing. I respect God and fear God too much, and I'm not going to be representing him and get hit by lightning walking down the street. No, buddy. So I have a healthy fear of God. If the rest of the world had it, we wouldn't have these problems either.
That's right.
So I'm learning in the man, it's amazing. And I wish I could go back in time. If I had a time machine, I would go back in time and I would have started this a lot sooner. A lot of people talk about, like, I had that incident the other day at the shop where somebody said they did something to me, and the old me would have.
Oh, I saw that.
The old me would have blew a cork. I would have been at that person's house. I was not a nice person.
I'm gonna have to ask you off air what actually happened.
And but I'm at peace, and the more I let go of, and like when I vices, and it's weird. Like you don't realize, like entertainment. I was listening to this preacher named Josh Herring, and he was talking about the spirit of entertainment, and I realized I spent more time on my cell phone than my Bible. Mm-hmm. And like right now, I'm gonna go sit home. I probably have about 50 messages that I have not answered today, because when I'm at the shop, most of the time I'm in a Bible study now.
That's cool.
Mom, Mom, I don't know if you were around earlier when I said I finally cracked open that book you gave me like 20 years ago. I'm finally reading it, but it is real. It's like I enjoy the peace that I have, and a lot of people asked, and when it comes to my love for Jesus and the reason I'm at peace no matter what it is, and it's once you guys come to the love of Christ, there is nothing like the peace of knowing that I don't have to have my problem. I can take my problem, like this beautiful cup of Covenant coffee from our lovely people at Covenant Coffee. Great, great business. I can take this problem.
Hand it to Mike.
And, hey, big guy, I can look at the big guy and go, I ain't dealing with it. And I have the faith that it's going to work. Mm-hmm. So that's my 2 cents today. Hope I didn't get too much on you guys.
Too much Jesus.
Next week, though, Ed's going to be back next week, and we're going to have a real interesting thing. We're going to go down 80s movies. So make sure you stick back around. We'll be a little more lightheaded. We'll be a little more fun. I don't know how this ended up being. You guys maybe hear about Jesus tonight. But we're going to.
And Steve's mama.
Yeah, and my awesome mama. So thank you guys very much. Mike.
Thank you, brother.
And me. Thank you for tuning in for Muscle Matters.